Hi guys, and welcome to the Gentleman Medium Paranormal Podcast. This podcast is called The Veil of Illusion, Maya. I want to talk in this podcast a little bit about the illusion of the world we live in. I'm going to go into a little bit into the veil of illusion, the trapped souls going into the light when our physical body dies, reincarnation, and the spiritual world of deception, and the demiurge, which is the false god of this world, and Lucifer. I'm not going to do this in any particular order. It's really to answer some questions, and it really follows on. I watched an interview yesterday with David Icke about a new book he's got coming out called The Trap. And in the interview, he mentions the trap of this world. He's talking about more about a spiritual perspective, and he's partly right on some of the stuff, and I feel that it's taken him a long time to get there. Don't get me wrong, I admire David Icke's work. He's done some fantastic work over the years exposing the hidden world we live in, and it seems to me now he's just dipping into the spiritual world, which is a whole different kettle of fish. I've been investigating this now for 40 odd years as a psychic medium, clairvoyant and a mystic, following many disciplines. So I just want to elaborate on some of the points he said. I'm going to refer to notes I've got on my laptop here because it's quite confusing, some of it. So, the trap. Where do I start? I'll start with reincarnation. There's a strong belief among many faiths in the world that when the human body dies, the soul leaves the body, goes to another place, and then reincarnates in cycles. This belief is predominant in Christianity, in Buddhism, and many other religions. And the evidence for reincarnation, and I'm talking about the evidence from people alive and also through past life regression, confirms this reality, that the soul does reincarnate. Now, we're told through various religious doctrines that the reason the soul reincarnates is so it can learn lessons. But this has always troubled me. And it's troubled me because I thought, well, if the soul reincarnates, so we live here now and we're here to learn lessons. And without a doubt, we all learn lessons when we're alive. And the toughest lessons in our lives are the ones we usually remember, the hardest ones that bring pain, and then we remember them. So if we're here to learn lessons, then we pass over, but we haven't learned all the lessons, then we come back and we reincarnate. How can we possibly learn the lessons? Because we have no conscious memory of the lessons we're supposed to learn. So therefore, how can we possibly learn them? Because we don't know what we've already learned, and we don't know what we're supposed to learn. And this has always troubled me. I know David Icke as well has been looking into this, and many other philosophers as well. And it's something I've done a great deal of thought about and meditation on. You know, the story goes that we pass over, and we spend some time in a different realm of consciousness, which some people call heaven or whatever. And then at due course, we come back to this earth to learn lessons, etc., etc., etc. Well, what's the point? Because we can never escape this wheel of reincarnation. And this wheel of reincarnation is in fact represented by the Will Tarot card, which shows this endless recycling of souls. That you can never step off this treadmill, so you can never learn lessons. Now, when we come to the light, there's many stories of people having near-death experiences, and they go towards a tunnel of light, and they see loved ones, and basically they walk towards these loved ones and hopefully go to heaven or their version of heaven. Or if they've had a near-death experience, they go into the tunnel of light and they're pushed back into their body and they wake up again. Okay. Now the tunnel of light, again, that's something that's always puzzled me. This tunnel of light, tunnel of light, tunnel of light. You know, in the beginning, God said, "Let there be light," and light is what is mentioned many times in the Bible. But I'm going to propose an alternative hypothesis here. And this is partly because of my own experience, which I'm going to share to you. And it made me recall my own experience. Also, Linda Moulton Hull of Earth Files fame put a recent video out where she mentioned the tunnel of light at 22 minutes into the video being an artificially constructed wormhole. And also that they seem to be adamant about the soul returns into the physical realm. That was at 29 minutes into the video. And that the frequency of the soul is love at 29.27 minutes in the video, and that the universe was an unconscious experiment. That's at 29.58. It just made me remember my own experience I had. I like to relate to my own experiences and first-hand experiences from people that I know, so I can say I've actually spoken to this person or I know this myself. And a tunnel of light. My experience, which I'm going to share with you now regarding the tunnel of light, was during a very deep meditation many years ago. My soul or spirit actually left my body. I went up through the roof of my house, up higher and higher and higher, into the sky until there was just blackness and nothingness. I could see the earth getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and then the moon disappeared below me as I travelled higher and higher, only to be met by two what I can term entities that were floating in space. These entities were very malevolent. They stopped me going higher with a warning, and the warning was, you think when you die you go to heaven, you don't, you come to us. Immediately this happened, I found myself in my body, I shot back into my body, and I woke up with a splitting headache, and I felt these entities were not pleasant, they were actually demonic. And this is what I believe, and I think this is what vid4 has just discovered. This world, if you take the Gnostic viewpoint, and I'm a Gnostic, and Gnosticism or Gnosis means knowledge, one that knows. And the knowledge comes through looking into oneself, basically. If you're looking into oneself, you know. I can't tell you some things, you have to discover them yourself. I can only point you in a direction, I can point you towards a signpost. But it's up to you to follow that path, to go down that road, and then make your own choices. So I'm only telling you from my own experience what I know to be true, and it's only my truth. You might accept it, you might reject it. But if you accept the fact that this world is controlled by a demiurge, and that it's the false god that many worship, which some people call Satan. I'm just going to go back to my laptop here, so I just want to read you something about this, because this is where it gets a bit complicated. Just excuse me on this one second. I'm going to come straight back, and there I am, that's it. Okay, the demiurge. Now, in the Platonic, Middle Platonic and Neo-Platonic schools of philosophy, the demiurge is an artisan-like figure responsible for fashioning and maintaining the physical universe. The Gnostics adopted the term demiurge, and what it basically means is the false god. They believed there was a creator god that created everything, including the demiurge. And the demiurge was basically jealous and created this world and controls everybody and everything in this world. And it went by many names, and one of these names was Yaldabaoth. Yaldabaoth, that's Yaldabaoth. Now, there's lots I can read here. He's called the Child of Chaos, the Blind God. And he's called the Blind God, for he said, I am God, and there is no other God beside me, for he is ignorant of his strength and place from which he has come. He is the demiurge and the maker of man, but he isn't. Now, I want you to suppose for a second reincarnation. We're led to believe that the soul leaves the body and comes back. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense why we have to keep reincarnating and reincarnating and reincarnating. But then I discovered it through self-knowledge, gnosis. And the reason the soul keeps coming back is because we are trapped here. And this demiurge, this evil, dark, satanic, demonic force, if you want to call it that, wants to keep mankind in this perceptual prison of consciousness, which basically means he cannot progress to the higher spiritual realms, to the true creator God, the real God, if you like. Okay. There's an old saying, again, a Gnostic saying. I think it's in the Gospel of Thomas, which I'm just going to read up here. I can't remember my Gnosticism too well. Where was it? Here we go. Yeah. The Gospel of Thomas. Jesus says, he who seeks, let him not cease seeking until he finds. And when he finds, he'll be troubled. And when he is troubled, he'll be amazed. And he will reign over the all. So through seeking, the Gnostic, which means to know, will find the truth. And when he finds the truth of the real world of illusion we're trapped in, your first thought is, oh my God, everything you held dear and everything you believed is false. And that's the terror aspect creeping in. How do you escape this cycle of rebirth every time? I believe that when your soul leaves the mortal body and it goes to the tunnel of light, that is yet another trap. And that's the spirit world of deception. The spirit world of deception is ruled by the lower astral entities. And these lower astral entities, in Jewish mysticism, are called Klipoth. And basically what these are husks. They are soulless beings that basically exist in this realm. But they pretend to be your loved ones, your father, your mother, your grandmother meeting you, but they're not. And this is the trap. So the soul passes through, it comes to the tunnel of light. Now the tunnel of light, I believe, is Lucifer, because Lucifer is the light bringer, the archangel or the morning star, which is Venus. So basically, you're led to believe through the illusion that we live this life, and through organised religion, if you're a good boy, you go to heaven. If you're a bad boy, you go to hell. But I believe we're all in hell. We're trapped here. We are trapped in a prison with invisible bars that we cannot see, but we just don't realize. And that's the big secret, the really big secret that organised religions do not want you to know about. We are trapped in a prison of the soul, and our souls are recycled, and our souls are pure spiritual energy of love in the majority. But because our souls are pure spiritual energy and they're constantly recycled back to the earth plane, these darker beings that live off the astral plane feed off our energy and all the negative energy of mankind, of hate, of lust, of anger, and the million and other things I could say. These entities exist off soul energy, hence the need to keep recycling us. And they stop us proceeding to the higher planes of manifestation and consciousness, to the true Godhead. Okay? What is our reality? Why are we here? We're here to learn lessons. How can we learn these lessons if we don't know what these lessons are? It's a lie, and it's a lie that's been going on for 2,000 or more years. Reincarnation absolutely exists. The spirit world absolutely exists. Spirit guides absolutely exist. But what I am saying, I've been saying for many years now, the spiritual world, and the spirit world in particular, is full of traps. It's the world of deception, and it's very easy to be deceived. That great philosopher, Madame Helena Blavatsky, that started Theosophy, she actually coined the term reincarnation, and Maya being the world of illusion. And she goes into great depth about this in her treatise Isis and Isis Unveiled. It's a very heavy work to read, so I advise you, delve into it, but it's hard going. Okay. So recycling of souls, we're recycling of energy, lower astral entity. I'm just going to turn my page and see what else I put down here. There's Lucifer. I don't miss anything else there. Reincarnation, the spirit world of deception, the demiurge. What does this all mean? There's a thing called the ring past knot that's mentioned in esotericism and occultism. Now, again, I believe Madame Blavatsky actually came up with this term. And this ring past knot is basically, it's an allegorical circle through which the soul cannot pass until it meets certain criteria. I believe this is some sort of trap that stops the soul progressing. So if you can imagine the world we live in, we all live pretty much under the same constraints. Although all religions are different, they all have the basic tenets of them, of the soul being reborn, the soul going to some sort of heaven, and there's karma involved, and we're here to learn lessons. I don't think this is true. My own experience, I'm talking about my own personal experience, and the people I know says to me that the world is an illusion with invisible bars, and this is literally hell on earth. And the god of this world is Lucifer, the light bringer, or the demiurge. He is the true god of this world, and he fashioned this world. He is the arch deceiver, and he deceives mankind by the false impression that when he dies he goes to heaven, which he does, but he doesn't, because he's stopped from going to heaven by the tunnel of light and recycled back to this plane of existence. So when you die, at all costs, do not go down the tunnel of light. Do not go down the tunnel of light, because you'll end up back here. You will never escape this reality. This is the matrix, if you like. It's the matrix in reality. This is a virtual reality we live in, that is controlled by very dark spiritual entities, demonic entities. I call them clip-off. I've written much about clip-off on my other site, which is my esoteric site, which is called visionaryinsights.co.uk. And I've written quite a lot about the false world of spiritualism on my other site, ianbroadmoor.co.uk. Many of you know me, know I'm a spiritualist medium myself, and I am. And I'm a skeptical spiritualist medium in as much as I witness much and I know all these things exist, but I also know they don't exist as people would have you believe they exist. That's the difference. That's the path of the mystic. The mystic basically knows, as does the Gnostic, and it's self-knowledge gained through introspection. So that's it in a nutshell, the veil of illusion and the false world we live in. So I would say to you, read up on some of this stuff, make your own thoughts up. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on reincarnation. Absolutely, reincarnation exists. I've undergone past life regression myself. I also carry out past life regression through hypnosis, or I used to, until I discovered I had a gift for actually reading people's Akashic records in their aura. I could actually pick up their past incarnations and I could see them and feel them, and I do that psychically, which is slightly different to past life regression, which is a hypnotic state. I can actually tune into your aura and your astral field, which is electromagnetic in nature, and pick this up and give you a past life reading. But I believe our souls are trapped, and the whole spiritual world is also a trap as well. So a lot of these spirits that pretend to be your loved ones are in fact demonic entities that feed off the energy of the living. So they trap the living, the people that come to the mediums. They also trap the mediums as well, who also feed this energy. And the trick and the key, and this is where the gnosis comes from, is escaping the cycle of rebirth represented by the will tarot card, to go to the true source of creation, the only source of creation, the one, and we are all part of the one. And part of our role here is to discover this and reignite and reintegrate the sparks within us to our divine source. So I hope you found this interesting. I'll be look forward to hearing any comments you have. I'm sorry the video is a bit disjointed, but I wasn't really sure what I was going to talk about and how I was going to talk about it. A lot of this has come through me as I'm talking. I'll probably remember some more afterwards. I'll probably do a second video. Anyway, bye for now. Thanks very much for listening. Bye-bye.